Back in February 2026, I created part 1 of this video ranking every episode from season 1. In that original video, I was going to rank every episode prior to BFB, being BFDI 1 through 25, BFDIA 1 through 5 or IDFB 1, but my phone couldn't export it because the editing software was being weird. Although mentioning this in the last video, please note this video is inspired by Worst Trends and Roblox Squared, but this time this video has better writing and better recording because the last video sounded like I was talking in lowercase the entire time.
Nothing else. She does nothing to be at the I6 and a President 78 and
so see this tier is from February 2026. Well, this is an updated version of it. It's probably the exact same ranking to be honest, but with a few changes. But this is the last time I'll probably do it. This video took me loads of time to make, so I suggest subscribing if you want to see more of this. Just remember, this is all my subjective opinion. You can have your own opinions all you want, but we're not going to have the same opinions. There's like a rare chance we'll probably have the same opinions anyway. Also, literally for everything I say, I don't mean any offense to the writers. Like, I actually enjoy the show like quite a lot, so yeah. Anyway, let's start at the very beginning. This episode's fine, I guess. We start off where BFDI 25 ended. Although this long opening is a time waste, I quite like this opening scene. The first scene was also shown, and sadly Bubble doesn't make it through because she died in the previous episode. The episode goes on pretty well for like the first 3 minutes, then it gets really boring after. It takes like nearly the entire episode just to get to the challenge, which this is one of my biggest problems with the BFDI episodes I hate, but at least it ain't BFB, which does it more times than I can count. The team switching is a big part of the show, and honestly, it's okay. They time waste again, showing a bunch of screens and the challenge starts. The tug of war challenge is so obvious. You can't pull off a 3v19. That's at that point astronomically impossible, but there's no way you lose it to armless contestants. The biggest highlight for all the contestants in this episode is probably Puffball, to be honest. And you know what? It's not just this episode, it's in the next 4 episodes because Puffball was so popular back then. This episode's a decent start to the season, but the next few episodes are better and placed pretty low. Honestly, this episode introduces the contestants better to BFDI 1 as easily one of my favourite episodes of the season. Courtney comes up with a team named Bunch, which is very important as that becomes a very popular team in BFDIA from this point. Don't know how to unfair elimination. Like, just imagine pulling up against 2 contestants which had season 1. This is not going to be like the last time we're going to see unfair eliminations in the season, as there's a few others I want to talk about later. The challenge is to make Yodel Stew, which helps Courtney as Courtney won the prize in the episode, while Face Smart and, well, Team No Name, I don't know why I wrote that in the script. Team No Name make a big more, and this is where the huge time waster comes in, which gives you many questions about the BFDI world. Like, what are all these weird buildings? Fry gets a bunch of contestants to dig, which doesn't work. Buck, Ice Cube, and Spongy all run from Evil Leafy, and this is the only time in BFDI that they tried making something scary. Like, just look at the scene. Imagine Pencil asks Ruby to join the alliance, which Ruby accepts joining the alliance. When Pencil talks about reviving Bubble, Ruby gets agitated and tells them how useless it was. Yeah, this proves pretty wrong. Team No Name lose the challenge after putting in some weird ingredients like hydrofluoric acid and blood and all that. And this ends the episode. Overall, it's a pretty good episode and it's miles better than the first one. Most people put this episode very low. I even asked BFDI Discord and they all responded with numbers from the low range or numbers in the mid range. But this episode's pretty overhated, and it's easily one of the best out of the 3 insectophobies so far. This episode isn't that bad, it's just too small. The King of Snake scene is one of the greatest BFDI scenes, but this is not the best King of Snake you'll see. As in a few episodes, you'll see the best one. Also, they introduced Puffball Speaker Box, which is a good host for the season. The challenge is to kill a bunch of bugs, which is not a very good challenge, but Face Smart slack off for the challenge and they carry this episode of having Bubble and having Bubble meet Ruby for the first time, and the rest of the relationship is history. Bobby gets ignited out and exploded, and then Royal Bunch lose, and that's really it. Overall, this is a fine episode. Not the worst one so far, but it's a B tier. absolutely love this episode so much. For one, there's only one background song in the entire episode. Not really a big take or like a nitpick on the episode, but just to let you know. This episode starts off with tennis ball Buck, Fiery and Gelatin being on the Eiffel Tower, and everyone calls Buck well read, which she starts freezing everyone. Pig gets told to shake the Eiffel Tower and it launches Buck into the dream source. There's some pretty good character interactions and a very good cake of steak. Teardrop is out, and this elimination is widely known as the most rigged BFDI elimination in its long 16-year runtime. But let's be honest, she did absolutely nothing in BFDIA. Like, just name one thing she did, and she did absolutely nothing. But I see the point of why she's like her elimination's rigged. The HBRC is goes and it shows up for the very first time in this episode. Flower comes back for 2 seconds. And the Battle for Nothing gang shows up for the first time out of the 3 times it does. It doesn't show up again until like 6 years from this episode. The challenge is to build Dream Island. The group of 15 plus, except Bubble, go to Gulfball's underground factory. Gelatin tries assassinating Golf Ball, but the incinerator kills her and kills Gelatin instead. Punch builds his farm truck, which is very boring, not gonna lie. And Pencil calls Golf Ball a bossy bot and gets Tennisball to throw into the incinerator. Buck gets cooked and Yellowface leaves Punch to go halfway to the no-name thing, and he advertises like a corporate guy he is. The Dream Source gets poured into Dream Island. The world realizes it's glowing, so they get Bobby to blow it up. Team No Name are naming the island when the episode title Ziggy Boogie Doo gets said and explodes, which references the 2001 Flash animation, the demented cartoon movie, and they get put up for elimination. And Yellowfish screams in the stinger. This is the best episode so far, but it won't be the best episode for so long. What I say to be my favourite BFDI episode. It's crazy how it went from BFDI Spring Park being the worst episode to BFDI Friday being the best episode within 1 year. This episode starts off with pin number 1 on a swing set, the only interaction from the entire series. I mean, there was BFDI 1B, but that was not really an interaction, that was more like a coincidental like type of thing. I wish Pin and Bubble interacted more though, especially for how consistent both these contestants are at this stage. Pin has been getting good, especially in the last 4 episodes. Bubble has season 1, despite being my favourite character, but like, Bubble peaks in season 1. Pin and Bubble try bonding with each other, and they both feel Leafy. This is probably the last time Pin and like Leafy interact for like in a whole 5 years. And no, I'm not on about BFDIA 21 or anything, I'm on about like BFB and all that. I'm not about it like chronologically, I don't know how to explain it that well. Bubble and Leafy recover every contestant, and Pin tries to do an assassination attempt on Leafy, which fails and destroys the public speaker box. Get ready to not see that for another 8 episodes. Bubble and Pin are swinging again, where Bubble has to go somewhere, which we'll have to see in a minute. Buck and Ice Cube come over to the swing set, and Pin wants them to swing with her, which Buck says that they are going to a mash dance party, but Pin crashes out, calling Buck a filthy, self-absorbed, unloving dirty little, and then they go into the Ice Cube saying she wants to go to the mash dance party. This part is very important. Not only that, an arc just started. See more of Pin's personality this season. There's like an entire analysis video on Pin's personality made by the absolute GOAT Odyssey 10. So you gotta check this out to understand the personality. Anyway, Ice Cube and Buck can get kicked out of the Clubhouse of Awesomeness. Leafy and Fiery try interacting again after like an entire year, but Fiery pretends he doesn't know Leafy, which Gelatin kills Leafy afterwards. The Fiery speaker box then comes back, and he's honestly the second best host up to this point. And this begins my favourite part of the episode, being the cake of steak. This is probably my favourite cake of steak of the entire series. It goes on for very long and you don't even get bored of it. They even reveal the comments, which is really funny. And Match gets eliminated? Seriously, Match? I will place like 12 maybe. And speaking of my way of the character placements, I made a video on that recently. This is not my news video because I'm writing this on June 12, 2026. And the newest episode, well, as of recording this, is the BFB 18 and Minecraft video. I don't really remember. And editing me can explain better. Editing me here, and from the way I number my episodes, this has to be episode 90. Just for reference, by the way, the BFB 18's videos, episode 89. Okay, I don't think anyone of you wants to know that, but okay. Anyway, back to the topic. Anyway, there's sources and teams, and oh my god, these teams are probably the best that ever goes to series. Forget every other team cast. This is the best cast. Free Smart's my favourite team. That's all because of this episode. I've mentioned them many times that I've loved this episode because of BFDIA 5. They even bring on Match and Bubble, and later on, Free Smart go on to be the best they've ever been. But I prefer BFDIA 5 Free Smart. Jumping on to Were Bunch, which they get very good later on. I also think, like, I prefer them more down the road, like BFDIA 14 and 15. But the gimmick with this team is that it has a team of like 7 members, being tied for the longest team with Team No Name, the original of the 2 teams. This team seems to be the smartest team, and it peaks maybe the 3 episodes from now. And the challenge is maybe to get to the Sum of Euro Mountain, which, oh my god, it's the best challenge. We need the charity challenge, and this is the best idea for one. 15-year-old Michael and Kerry were cooking with this challenge. Evil Leafy has a bunch of screens on this episode, and towards the end of the episode, Evil Leafy eats everyone and makes this weird screeching noise. BFDI wouldn't even do this nowadays. This is so unsettling, and now we are on to the next episode, being, well, no, not episode, the next game. They banned on BFDI Discord for this. When I mentioned every episode of BFDI, I said I'll be ranking every episode of BFDI, including 5 years of the game, and I can't ruin my promises, so now I'm going to have to review it. I won't be going on about this for too long, maybe about like 30 seconds, and I will not be counting this in my ranking as how would I literally compare a game to an episode. So when I get to the ranking section of this video, it's going to be like, not ranked, like it's going to be last place automatically because it's not ranked. Anyway, this game is very clunky. Like, you have to press R every time you die manually. This game is also very fun, but it's also very difficult at the same time, especially after level 28. Like, level 29 is hard. I wish this game got extended, as I want to know what the bonus levels were for. My favourite level is probably level 38, which is cubing my boxes. This is everything I have to say about the game now. I'll probably rate it a 5 out of 10, and I play more of this in my live streams from like a year ago. But like, there's no like commentary in them, so yeah. We drop back into the actual episode, being BFDIA 5C. Fires and Puffball are in the Evil Forest, and it's revealed that Gelatin and Fire got eaten by Evil Leafy. The entire alliance escapes Evil Leafy, which indicates that means that they escaped the entirety of the BFDIA 5B place, but like off screen or something like that, because the game wasn't finished. Anyway, they climb to the top of Evil Leafy's head, and Pencil shouts at Ruby, which makes Ruby upset. I don't know how, but Pencil is kind of like apologetic. She gets calmer though, she gets killed by a laser. All that's left is Buck and Ruby as Bubble got popped, and Match get exploded. And that's not even the worst ever in this episode. Werbudge finally approached the snow, and Pig gets stuck to the glue that the face what Superman was in the last episode, and Pig gets crushed by a tree as he got struck by lightning, and also just like one of Lightning's first appearances. It cuts back to Buck and Ruby getting chased when they kill Purple, Fries, and Evil Leafy. There is finally no more snow. Werbudge drop into the canyon, and Needle's the last hope. Coiny does his running gag and pretending to sound like Cactus, and he does the Spongy and calls him Fire and pushes him into the spikes of the canyon. Everyone but Spongy calls Needle needy, and Yellowface brings an active flamethrower and burns Needle alive. This is animated so realistically. Like, it's crazy how they could do this 13 years ago. There's 6 contestants left, and Coiny mentions that they're the final 6 of BFDIA. 2 out of the 6 contestants are actually in the actual final 6. The fiery speaker box gives a handheld recovery center, and they crank it for a whole 79 days. This part's the weakest part of the 5, to be honest, but it's still very good. It's like one of the best episodes of the series still. I guess it's better than BFDIA 5C. They cranked the HBRC creator for 79 days straight, which a lot happened during these events. Buck, Ruby, and Matt have their free time. Nickel tries joining in, but gets kicked out as it's girls only, and the time lapses into day 79 where the HBRC creates and self-destructs, and that does nothing. The HBRC is back. Free Smart begin walking, and Pencil introduces the Free Smart Super Van, the ultimate van in itself. Werbudge have a plan by threatening Puffball to take the entire team to Euroland, which backfires, getting that entire team frozen. Free Smart seal the HPLC after Buck tries using the leg power recovery center, and then some time passes and Ruby plays around with the snowballs with the rest of Free Smart, which even now has consequences. Yellowface comes back to life just to die again. Free Smart costs Loki now. Pre-play how long it takes to walk to Yoyo Land. 2,763 miles. The answer is 690.75 hours, which is just exactly 1 month. It would be impossible to cross the Greek Canal. This long sea is very unsettling, and yeah, that's 5D. We have no more to lose, so the next episode is the home stretch for BFDIA 5, as well as the original version of BFDIA. Okay, so Free Smart get out of the long Greek Canal, and Nick and Courtney get placed onto each other, which will lead into some money. Somehow Team No Name end up with David Lamb, which has been 6 years, and I don't understand how they got here. We finally get to see the long lost Yo-Yo City, this amazing view of Yo-Yo City. I know this is a time waster, but the music is so good for the scene. I wonder what Kevin McLeod is doing now. Oh no. Free Smart remember that the HBRC is still with Lou, so now every single episode he has to go to the HBRC just to recover like an entire contestant. Pencil gets trapped onto the fish monster, which Free Smart try and kill Pencil on purpose, because she's basically trapped. Roblox then find Yellowface on the side glued to the ground, and he's suicides himself. Team No Name catch up. Pencil turns into a spider and throws all the ice needles at Team No Name. Free Smart claps to the summit. Team No Name catch up, and that's when they realise when they look up. There's another time waste, and this one drags for too long. I again like the music choice again. This view of the summit is very nice, and it was very good for what they were doing in 2013. Roblox catch up to everyone else. Buffalo decides to kill the entire team, which is bad, but she was literally a fan favourite. She was literally liked very back in like the year 2013, but I guess she's got her fan base back now because she's probably gonna rejoin Teapot or something. And Roblox gets to the top, and this ends the heavenly episode of BFDIA 5. That's a mouthful of words to say, and this ends, of course, what needs to be the greatest episode, BFDIA 5. BFDIA 6. I was originally going to make the BFDI review from BFDI to IDFB 1, skipping all post hiatus because it wasn't even finished by then. Literally the BFDIA 5 we skipped is from that review, but like I added a few more parts into it, so yeah. The episode that was literally once like one of the biggest jokes in this community actually turned into an episode. This one picture of 2023 is still legendary to this day. The episodes have literally one up themselves, and it's literally because there's like better production now. BFDI was literally finished a few years prior, and Teapot was on his 6th episode, nearly to be 7th. Is BFDIA 6 good though? Well, we start from the original BFDIA 6. You might be wondering what I mean by the original BFDIA 6. I mean the deleted scenes. All the contestants fall down the summit to the floor of Yoyo Land. The elimination starts again, and Puffle did not deserve to get out. She should have stayed, but she gets better in the later seasons anyway. The challenge is to sleep, hence the name Well Rested. The challenge is kinda boring though, not until like the last 9 minutes of the episodes. It's great how Jealous literally could have easily stopped Needle from putting the headphones on. And also the Spike thing literally gets dropped like midway through the episode. Also, they literally have some good references in this episode, like the 2063 reference and the BFDI reference and the hotel. Overall, this episode's B tier. It gets better in the second half. My fan literally might sound pretty loud right now because I'm literally right next to like the fan right now. Well, yeah, obviously, but I'm shooting better. Anyway, BFDI 7, it's alright. This episode is the first appearance of Yo-Yo Light. Rocky is eliminated. Sad for the 2 fans that I enjoyed him. Bommy wins the prize and turns the iconic colour of purple. This is Bommy's colour now for every single episode following until the finale. The challenge is to build a new loser chamber since TV took the key, except Free Smart wasn't even at the spinning ceremony, so they don't get told the challenge, which is lame. And Fiery and Jealous moved to Free Smart as his rock interest TV to sacrifice his teammates. Yellowface becomes a bigger again and makes his entire team drink Bommy's colour, which has gunpowder inside. This episode is just Free Smart struggling, Werewolf's progression.
Free Smart struggling again. Team name do the thing. And then Free Smart get up for elimination anyway when they make no progress. And Fiery and Gelatin are easily set up as they're both up for elimination. Jack and Jellyfish, you set up a contestant, never made that team up for elimination. And literally in the kick and stick afterwards, Fiery gets eliminated. Well, Fiery's not a good contestant anyway. But like, bro, it could have been a different team. This episode's C tier, I guess. BFDIA 8 is an episode. There's a new kick and stick intro which is pretty cool, I guess. Not the best one though. Free Smart walks 2,763 miles again, so that defeats the entire purpose of BFDIA 5. The prize for this episode is literally useless, so what's the point? Fiery gets eliminated, but just remember he isn't that good, but he got set up anyway, so yep. The challenge is really boring. This barbecue sauce guy sings this one song, well, it's actually unironically a banger, and this is when the episode actually gets good as well. If it was like a separate episode, then the first half will be like probably the worst episode so far. Gelatin's pretty good in this episode as he's improved a lot from last episode. And the way Roblox get out is just stupid, bro. Like, yep. And also, like, I literally got no notes writing this. Like, I don't know if I was like very locked into the episode or something, but that was all I had to say. Anyway, worst episode of BFDIA so far, but it won't be that for that long. Finally, a good episode for the second time in this revival. Yes, it's been 4 episodes so far, and only 2 good episodes. Everyone is pink now because of the last episode, and Werewolf Charlie at the kick and stake again. Every time he seems to be up for voting, you've won the prize. Bigot Man himself, Yellowface is eliminated. It's just Mule's elimination was kind of satisfying. I swear that's literally for every one of his eliminations, like, especially this one and T-Bot 17's. And also like the way that the Clubhouse of Awesomeness like slowly burns into the hydrofluoric acid, and Yellowface just screams, so when he gets out the acid. The challenge is charades, what an actual good challenge. It shows that every single team with a decent amount of screen time, and when they fail, they go to this weird hell place, which is somehow controversial. But come on, the scene was at least funny. Bubbles back. We literally gotta take a photo of this, bro. This is literally legendary. This is the first good BFDI moment. Forget all of season 1. This is better than all of it. Oh, she dies. Anyway, content farm slop this, content farm slop that, and somehow the climax ends in a book getting sliced up into many different pieces. This episode is very good. Easily the best one out of this entire revival so far.
I'm not taking my sneakers off, so go ahead and turn.
BFDIA 10 sucks. The first 2 minutes of this episode are just boring. Gelatin is literally out, even though he was destined to be anyway because of BFDIA 7. And if you're mean, you're basically doomed. Also, like the things he did in like BFDIA 8 and 9. There's like new teams, and I'm gonna say it now. The Beautiful Face Devotion Institute is one of the worst teams to be ever created. There was genuinely no point for this team to exist, and this episode is literally the most obvious outcome. They literally disbanded the team the following episode due to how obvious the outcome would be. The swap token even gets used once for this. Has literally wasted. It could have had like a better usage except being a 1 episode team. The one good thing about this episode is that the ice cream challenge was actually pretty good. If it was executed better, but never mind. They played the exact adoption joke again, and they played 3 times in the entire series. It was not that funny. The only positive thing I can say is maybe barbecue and sauce and pineapple, because they're like pretty good in this episode. But apart from that, this is the worst BFDIA episode. But let's just have a quick debate. Is this episode better than BFDI 25? Do I start with this god awful episode? Yes. Is it better than BFDI 24? Yes. We've got 1 more episode to go with. That's pretty bad, so let's just get this over and done with. Alright. This episode is good for like the first few minutes. Why is Jack sentence mixed? I mean, it actually gives him more personality, so to be fair, it's not that bad. They pick up the most useless team in the entire show.
Yes! This team had no purpose at all. It was literally solely made because of a joke. Spongy gets eliminated and Pin's face is basically nothing now. We're getting to the point where this arc is very important. They make new teams. There's literally no point in renaming Free Smart to LRLD. They literally changed the name back the following episode anyway, so... Flower is host for this episode, which is actually amazing. I actually wanted Flower to like get some screen time, because Flower has like literally been dead the entire season, apart from like the last 3 episodes. So yeah. After this part, the episode turns into BFDIA 10 Part 2 due to how boring the challenge is. I guess the episode gets slightly better towards the end when the final battle of Cody vs. Free Smart happens, and then there's these guests in the episode which I've never heard of. Apparently they had something to do with Q rolling, but I'm never gonna get into that. Oh yeah, also Bobby and Nickel like had the iconic moment where they start kissing each other. That's just how iconic the duo is. And that's pretty much the entire episode reviewed. This episode kind of sucks too, just how boring it is, but slightly better than maybe BFDIA 10. You know how the people say Team of 3 to 6 on the Dark Ages of Teapot? That's because they aren't really that bad, they're just really mediocre. These are literally the BFDIA Dark Ages, but at least it's the last bad BFDIA episode. From this point on, there's like the worst episode just mediocre. Starting off with BFDIA 12.
BFDIA 12 is finally a good episode after a long time. We have a new writer being Joseph Pack, which is honestly a better writer than Kerry in my opinion. They disbanded LRLD, which had no point anyway. Ice Cube got eliminated in this episode. And last time people were mad at Ice Cube. This was literally a rough time for the character. Like in Teapot, her best line was "Wheat" or whatever she said. She was going to be eliminated anyway. She was the worst character out of the 4 people. In the size, she had struck to the absolute smallest it was. Needle gets put on Free Smart. Bro, in Roblox, she was just like not really noteworthy as a character. So seeing her being on Free Smart now is actually pretty good. Well, no, this one she actually gets to go to BFDIA. I mean, to be fair, in BFDIA she was okay up to that point, but I prefer her more in Free Smart to be honest. Also, this is when the swap token actually gets put in use. Jack Jellyfy, when you make a swap token or like a good token, this is the best you can use it, not for a one-off team. Since this is the 4th installment of Insectophobia's Nightmare, there's a new host for like the 10th time this season, and since it's bug feed, the challenge is a bug filled dodgeball, which is such a good challenge. Easily the best one out of the 4, or well 3, because well the second one didn't have one. Fries pulls off his go-to moment and pulls off a 1v11. Free Smart, Spiral Team No Name, and Ruby Sisters for a battle concerning delightfully excited Fire Gems show up, which now they all show up for like the next 3 episodes. The last fighting scene is actually go-to with Free Smart No Name. Yeah, Fries just stands out of nowhere, and that's the entire episode. Probably the best revival episode so far, but it won't be a good category soon because it will be like taking a lot. This is a very good episode. The first non-competition episode of the entire season. They showed a Teapot intro, which if you think about it kind of foreshadows the Yo-Yo Light, but not really. This feels like IDFB2 in a way. Back in 2020, I used to think if BFDIA 6 on release in 2013, it'll literally be a non-comp episode, but we all know what happened. This episode is more focused on the eliminated people, so the WTFers wander around Ghost City with their shenanigans, and the LOOs have their moments with their arguments, I guess, and they reference Baguette, which if you don't know, it's literally the older T-Wow, and you don't know what T-Wow is either. You then. Just joking, just watch a video or something, I don't watch it either. Honestly, one of my favourite parts of BFDI with Coin trying to get Pin back. Like the visual in this part are just amazing. And all of this, like, saving Pin and going to the underworld, just for this great visual part and disappointment. The first time we hit the IA with good visuals. I am not saying the episode before this had bad visuals. I like the animation of early BFDIA, especially for its time. But I'm on about the visuals and not the animation. Have you ever seen these scenes? That's what I'm on about. But you can probably interpret that to be feed about the animation. Anyway, I apologize if I'm going on a tangent. Back to the WTFers, this is easily one of Firey's best episodes. It's one of the episodes where he's not his annoying self. Now the LOLs, I ever thought how ugly they were? Me too, but the LOLs use the L-user, and it gets used to the LOL, which gets all the assets updated, and that fixes the problem. The WTFers are walking home, and Firey looks at the enhanced tree when it turns sunset, and remember Leafy exists. So he recovers Leafy and walks away. It's also confirmed that Evil Leafy and Leafy are two different people. Honestly, I know I said this in the last episode, but this is my new favourite episode of Revival, and I think you'll get top next episode. Oh my god, this episode is just amazing. Like, after everything BFDIA got put through, especially 7 through 11. That's like the worst wish of all time. BFDIA has reached its new peak again. We finally get good hosts, being the LOLs. I wish they hosted again because they were actually pretty good. And the first glimpse of all the BFB contestants before they got BFBified and turned into the monstrosities they are. Golf Ball's eliminated. Golf Ball was one of my favourite characters this season, and it was sad to see her go. I guess the first time elimination since Puffball, but I like the neat custom eliminations she has. The bed only fits 2 people, so they have to split into 5 teams of 2, being Tennis Ball, Nickel, Bobby Fries, Pencil, Needle, Coin Pin, and Book and Ruby. At the end of this episode review, I'll rank the 5 teams from worst to best, because why not? The challenges across these 5 islands, which all of them are corresponding to the first 5 eliminations. I feel I like about this episode is that you can't tell who's going to win. Every team is first in this episode at least once. Do you know what my favourite part about this episode though is? That Bubble finally came back. After like 6 episodes, she finally gets some relevance for 1 episode. Then she just dies again. The characters sing their songs, and the songs are maybe like 6 out of 10 coming from a music video of myself. And Pin crashes out that hard that sadly gets Ruby out the next episode. So let's rank the teams because I have nothing else to rank, and also that means that I want to extend this episode ranking a bit, so 5th place, Pink Coiny. Oh no, my search history got leaked. It weren't that interesting this episode, so not gonna lie, with the other teams as they had that interesting dynamic. I guess this to crash out. I don't hate this team, but the rest are just better. Number 4, Bobby Fries. This team has its funny moments. I like this team. 3rd place, Ruby Book. They were with the Alliance. They tried to steal a song. Yeah, they were pretty good. Number 2, Pencil Needle. They were with the Alliance. They had a good song, and this is also when Needle has some aura moments. And 1st place, Tennis Nickel. This is by far the best duo of all of them. I wish they got final 2. That would have been a funny, he deserves this type of episode. Or he deserves nothing because everyone hates Nickel. Anyway, that's my review on the episode. Now on to BFDIA 15. It's okay, I guess. Blockali gets his first major appearance since BFDIA 1. This follows the elimination which takes place in the 5th island of BFDIA 14's challenge. And they do a throwback to BFDIA 5 by showing the comments of what the viewers thought. Let me be real, BFDIA 5 did it way better. Also, Book brings up the fact that she has 296 votes for the BFDI 2nd season voting video for February 2012. Ruby gets out, and let's be real, we all got manipulated by the obvious setup. Ruby was very good this season, as well as it's such a shame now she's out. They literally kill Bubble again after this 1 episode, and they don't bring it up again for a few episodes. I swear they forgot Bubble this season, but it was so much better if in the season instead like Donut or Fiery. They go to the Coliseum and they get grouped into 3 teams of 3. Yay, my favourite teams. Oh my god, what have they done? I swear all these teams are forgettable. I don't even remember who's on each team. That's how crazy it is. The challenge is very simple. Go to the birdhouse. Decent challenge and all, but they have to shrink very, very small just to get to that birdhouse. There's some fighting scenes and I enjoy them. I like Pin in this episode as well. She's getting better and that's pretty it. I'm surprised I only had 10 notes for this episode. And the bottom 4 all critiques for the episode, except the soundtrack one. The soundtrack is very big in this episode. This episode's very boring to watch though. It's easily the worst BFDIA episode in a while. Where this place is like C+ overall. Not bad, but not good either. What a very chill, laid back episode. This episode was very fun to watch and easily one of my favourites on the season and such an improvement from the last. So what does this episode have in store? Blockali is host for this episode and I really like Blockali in this episode, easily his best one yet. Although the seed is abnormal, Bobby is eliminated. Honestly, this is Bobby's best season as in his other seasons is just so mediocre. Like he has like 40 lives to BFB and 58 in Teapot. Just keep in mind, Blockali and Lollipop nearly have more lives in Teapot alone. They're doing the teams thing again like in every single episode. And Needle does the dumb idea of being on both Word Bunch and Free Smart, which nearly got her out funnily enough. She could have like tagged the van like 10 times. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention the challenge is Scavenger Tag. It's a really good challenge and the way it's executed is really well. Also, if the Free Smart Supervan could run out of fuel, then how can it drive 2,763 miles? Or I guess 500 as it gets switched like midway through the forest. Yeah, you could just watch this video instead. Crazy how this has a core view of Evans like 3 days after II2 episode 18 released. And that's the entire episode. I liked Nico, Fires and Needle in this episode, and Nico probably peaks in this episode and his best episode. Also, if I had to figure like a contestant on who I relate to the most, it'll probably be Fries. This episode was very fun to watch and it was an insane day when it came out. It came out 15 years after when BFDI episode 1 came out on January 1st, 2010. But this wasn't even the first episode that released, as I'll probably get to that in like 3 years from now when I release the Teapot review. When it released though, it was probably one of my favourite days of all time in the OSC. Yeah, this episode was into like a top 10 when it came out, placed in precisely 8th place, but it does still hold up at the rewatch. This is definitely the beginning of the episode that's really funny. Once again, Needle nearly gets out for being on 2 teams and Pencil's out. I mean, Pencil had to go, she was basically perfect up to this point, but it was sad to see her go. There's no more LOLs now, instead the WTFers. They are pretty chill I guess, and I think they're probably better than the last. The challenge is just to be yourself, and now Needle's on a team with Fries, and Free Smart ends it to a very long 2-year run. Easily one of my favourite teams. Also, this is the first time you would like go get shown since like BFDIA 14, and it's the biggest time you get showed up yet. We literally know all that happened, and now I have to clarify. Fries didn't even need to do anything to challenge us. He also like chose to like get immunity. Booker also does a big quest of trying to get all that stuff, and it turns out her cover is literally inverted, so she loses another challenge again. Nico and Tennisball have such a good dynamic this episode. I honestly wish Nico wasn't out, and that's everything I have to say about this episode. Is it still top 10? No, it isn't, but I think it like places in B tier at least. This episode is the polar opposite of BFDIA 17. Instead of being all relaxed and all sunshine and rainbows, it's literally like one of the best climaxes of all time in this like show, and also one of the most cruelest deaths since maybe BFDIA 5C. And I'll talk about that death in a bit. Anyway, the thing I like about this episode is that it takes place in like the early mornings. It reminds me a lot of BFDIA 13. It just gives you a sense of nostalgia, but I don't know why. There's a new King of Stinging like jingle. This one's very good, except my meme on it is way better. Nico gets out, and honestly, if I'm gonna be real, Nico's been a very good like character all season. Like I wish he honestly stayed a bit longer, as he was a good character in like BFDIA 16 where he goes on a quest to get that balloon that Faz has, or in like BFDIA 17 when he acts like a silly person despite the world nearly ending like 8 hours later. Anyway, he's probably like the first star elimination since last episode. There's no point putting that in the script, but yeah, it's just to see him go. Maybe he gets good in Teapot. I have no notes about him in Teapot, so I don't really know. Also, the sky's literally perfect this episode. Like, this episode tops the visuals and it's easily one of the best when coming to it. Which starts on this entire end game of BFDIA lasts like a good while of the season. It takes like 4 hours for this, and the challenge is the power of the light. And oh my god, there's some good scenes in this episode. It's so intense, and my favourite like part is probably the deaths in this episode due to how cruel they are. Well, they are that brutal until the obvious one. Just saying, I loved every single person in this episode, and if I wanted someone to win this challenge, it would have been Needle, to be honest. This is when she becomes one of my favourite people in the season, and she did everything just to get tired of Sigourney. Claudia was also good in this episode, and the divorce happened. We will get to that. Faz is also my favourite from the season, and he's just too funny. The way he dies around 7 times is funny. Buck is good, I guess, and I guess the tennis ball. It's one of his weaker episodes, but he gets better. Now I've talked about episode, but the obvious pin. 1, she's just such a menace in this episode for a way that she's good for. And 2, she has the most cruelest death since BFDIA 5C, being this. Oh my god, the way Buck shreds into pieces in this episode is just wow. And the divorce, especially for how much they interacted, but oh well, something good happens later on, and that's BFDIA 18. Honestly, it's one of my favourites. Again, this is the same season that had BFDIA 10, by the way. Easily an S tier episode. It's alright, it's just another laid back episode, so like BFDIA 16. Courtney is apparently in denial. I remember watching this episode for the first time thinking he would have been depressed, but surprisingly he's perfectly fine, although he sounds kinda off in this episode. No joke, is he just off character or is that just me? Free Smile start pushing the HBRC away because HQ wanted to move away because Leafy, and Gulf will get to mad because they took the glue thinner. I guess this doesn't really count as a crash out, who knows. And also for the first time, Tesbo takes bribes, despite him getting mad at Leafy the entire season ago for taking bribes. But it's not that big, not gonna lie. There's a new King and Steak song for the 10th time this season, and it's easily the best one by far. They didn't have to go so good with it, but they did. There should be an extended version, although Ian Woodside left, so I guess we ain't getting one. Fraz got eliminated, and bro, Cloudy Masons was so angry when this released. Even Carey made a statement. Watching this in real time felt kind of satisfying, guys. It was just kind of funny to watch. I gotta even play that video I made because it was just kind of funny.
I have never experienced this before.
You get used to it after a while.
And the person eliminated is...
Whatever.
Oh, thank Felt, I'm safe. Yay!
Anyway, ignoring that Fraz was my favourite in the season, and I'm also surprised he even survived this far. Both in the bottom 4 so many times. He was literally cooked in the original BFDIA. He would have placed very low somehow. Pin is now a beast as literally every single person is afraid of her. I guess this is low in the arc, but it gets better in one episode from now. We just gotta wait. There's a new host again, but this time it's a fish monster. He's easily one of my favourite characters in the entire series, and he's probably the second best host behind the GOAT himself, the original announcer. The challenge is a collection contest, and there's nothing really that interesting. It's just decent at best, and the only other note I had is that Leafy came back, and it is kind of annoying. It feels like just talking to a friend, that's just really annoying. This is a C tier. Also, there's a voting for host, but that we'll talk about in 21.
So, remember BFDI 19? Well, we probably did 4 seconds ago. Well, imagine that, but turned up to 11. Well, welcome to BFDI 20. It's still collecting the items, you have to sell the items. I somehow had way less notes to this episode than BFDI 19, so I'm going to try and make it the exact same length as the script of BFDI 19. This released 2 weeks after BFDI 19. Yeah, it's even better than BFDI 19. Pin and Buck formed an alliance for 2 seconds, then it gets abandoned within the same episode as Buck gets killed again. But it would have been cool to see this play out against the rest of the final fight. But I swear Buck did nothing wrong. The way she did was not how she was swimming with her, which I'm now going to mention. Pib was very good in the season. I used to absolutely hate her back then. I think I mentioned it in the BFDIA 22 review I made last summer. A good portion of this episode is spent in space, preferably on the really weird planet Tennis Ball pleads to Needle to make him safe as Pin is a monster at this point, and Buck finally wins the challenge by Needle giving immunity, and Tennis Ball has to do everything Needle demands him to do in the following episode. Now, since Tennis Ball is pleaded, then Pin is UFE with Coiny on the planet, and they both had to race to deliver their tickets. But so Coiny is riding alone. This is an alien that tells him to get revenge on him, which works, and they crash right into the ground. I remember watching this at 5 AM in the morning on the school day for the first time, and this scene gave me goosebumps for how badly I wanted Pin to get out. The music also fits the scene so much. This is the first time a song from the BFDI soundtrack is used in BFDIA, with the song Motorlight or Streetlight, which were both published in 2014. Also, I just have to mention, I don't get how Pin was angry, even though she literally also did it 2 challenges ago. Pin is a hypocrite, but anyway, this episode's pretty good. Not as good as 18 or maybe 16, but it's a solid 80 episode at least. It's pretty cool. Also, I like the sunset effect at the very end of the episode. The second ever I used to absolutely hate this when it came out. I put it as a solid 4.8 out of 10 and called it bad in my BFDIA 22 review when the episode first came out. Does it still hold up a year later? I mean, it's not C tier anymore. I like the WTFs and I like the thing they did. I wish they built a bit more on the BFDIA 5p bit. Lego Brick, Tune and Waffle are all going to be throwaway characters at this point. Lego Brick hasn't shown up since Theatre Etiquette. Well, they were mentioned in BFDIA 25, but that was just a cameo, which doesn't count. Pin and Leafy bond this entire episode, and again, I ain't interested.
Leafy hosts. Okay, cool. I don't really care.
But this episode ain't that bad. I could say BFDIA 13 is better, to be honest. BFDIA 22. I have a long history of this episode. Well, it that long, but I made a review when it came out and I did not enjoy the episode. The episode itself should not have been 40 minutes. It should be cut down at least like half in length. Like, you can call a good 10 to 15 minutes and it'll make sense due to the amount of filler in this episode. Pin is out. I remember saying that I liked this elimination as I hated Pin back in the day, but Pin has grown me. I found Pin a bit annoying, but she's still a great character. Definitely should have been eliminated this episode though. This episode is the flag challenge, very uneven but okay. And there's like 10 different counts of filler. I remember the new one line scene, and I'm sorry, but how am I meant to remember these? Like, they're literally banded within 1 minute and they're broken in the same minute. We do not even need the scene. This episode has some good animation, though it's probably the best this season, to be honest. Like, they bring back the silly BFDIA 5e animation. There's this Woody recovery. It's very dramatic, but it ruins the suspense when he types the letter wrong and he does nothing yet. Gets pinned, mechanical features. They keep passing the desert over and over and over again, and it's even more filler. It's meant to be like a running gag or something, and I like zoned out. Like, but the climax of this episode was pretty good, and that's about it. Also, Coiny fell off in this episode. He did everything until this episode, and then also the first time is good. Like, you know the drill. And then 15 minutes later, Buck dies to the drill. So is this episode still 4.9 out of 10? It's improved a lot, but it should have been better. And well, how would I rate it now? Like a 6 out of 10 at least.
This episode is by far the longest episode as of writing this. I had a bunch of notes about this, so I'm going to go through every single one of them. So I apologise if most of this is mixed up because of the note order. Before this episode released, I honestly thought this was going to be like BT at the highest, but I was damn wrong. The elimination was so much hype. I literally watched this hoping Coiny would be out, and he was out. I was so excited to watch this. Also, they're bringing back the OG Cake and Steak place from this, from the first one in the season. Bubble finally gets recovered in this episode and actually stays for a while. While every single contestant that got eliminated the hosts. There's like a trip down memory lane. Also, Flower goes back as well. For this challenge, it's redefined. Like BFDI 23, just skim through every single challenge. For this one, they go through all of them for like, at least like over a single minute or so. It's so good. This challenge reminds you of BFDIA 5 challenge, as they are both big journeys. I'd say BFDIA 14 is similar as well. I'll probably call all 3 of them a trilogy, but that's just me probably. There's also good foreshadowing as well, with Match having her rainbow hair from 10 years from now. But it's more nitpicky, so I'm not surprised by that. They even bring back the BFDIA 5 time waster, it's pretty good. A good throwback to the episode. Well, I said they go through all of them and they skip the made BFDIA episodes, but it's fine anyway. Vorge finally shown again, and shown more than once in this episode. Golf ball rejects tennis ball. Oh my god, 10 golfers in the ship anymore. The ship's video is outdated. The 10 golf fans aren't happy. Jack and Jellyfish getting cancelled for this one. Pineapple's alive. Let's go! The one guy carried BFDIA 10. Bommy continues his yapping a bit more forward, but his personality has nearly ended as he goes back to silent when he gets his OG colour back. And Spongy returns and finally does something, which is better than hell. This part was probably the funniest part of the episode, as it was just too cool yet funny at the same time. Not a cool like 5 C's level, but it's funny enough to be good. It's better than some jokes this season, which, sorry if I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but most of the jokes do not have to be explained. Honestly, it ruins the entire thing. They introduced tokens for a good 2/3 of the episode, and the swap token doesn't get used. I wish it did, to be honest. Can I just mention that most of the challenges in this episode are amazing. My favourite is probably BFDIA 21's area. It just looks so cool to look at. The climax of this episode's amazing as well. Like the slow-mo and the part where the Kobe comes back and when Book wins the challenge. Holy Aura C, by the way. That just proves how good she is. Anyway, this is easily one of the best episodes. It's not the best episode, but I can say it's in my top 5 at least. Now let's go on about Teapot 24. But this episode's kind of underwhelming, to be honest. I think 13 is the best non-comp, but this is pretty chill. The way now since the final four is properly interacted and the assets in the beginning are cool. Like, especially since everyone has a darker gradient and they even bring out the nicest chart for once. The visuals are consistently good as well, like very good. The concept is nice. Book saves the entire show from going past the scale of the universe and gathering the votes. They do musical numbers like what the hell. Needle makes a cake and she fights Evil Leafy on Holy Aura scene. Like, this shot is literally amazing. A tennis ball, he just creates the cake of take place, which is destroyed in the same episode. And checks the recovery center and law drop. Every single contestant gets draw every time they got recovery. Could have been like a better concept, but whatever then. Book gets ice cream to save it and this image looks AI. They do some vague stuff and then they do the technique and then the ice cream starts himself and the scene's just amazing and dramatic as well. And Book gets launched into the yeast cake. Book goes into the outside and retrieves the votes. Jack from I Can Make a Difference returns and finally isn't tempted to mix anymore. I look he showed out like halfway through the episode as it was kind of boring, but the TV elimination is kind of tough. This episode's good. A bit of a shorter episode review, but hey, this next episode could be a good finale, right? We surely learned from last time. I mean, it's been like 14 years since that, so let's see. This episode is goated. Not exactly the best, but very good. I have like no notes from the episode, so I'm going to do this off memory because I can't remember rewatching the episode. Book and Needle carry a bunch of memories and Pin has lives again. They go to an abandoned city, passing like all these places. There's a new King of State jingle and it's way better, and it literally explains the entire season well. Leafy shows up and oh no, there's a problem they have to solve. Well, it's Leafy and Book and everyone on Fiery. It's crazy how these two bad contestants are running away from everyone. Fiery does a 1v20 and it kills nearly everyone except Needle. Needle and Fiery have a talk and Fiery said it was so good to save Leafy. But ship's video has been saved. Leafy gets crushed and she gets saved, but mentioned that she has to hide and then she just exiles for the next like few years. Holy tough shot. Anyway, for Evil Leafy, they show the votes and it's that good that there's a shot of the black hole, and with a 10k vote difference, Book wins. Well, this vote was kind of close and everyone has a party. Well, not exactly like I2, but everyone goes on with their daily lives in Euroland. Fiery gets locked up and the island is a museum and they play the song Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy for the final song of the show. ending the entire series. Holy peak. Easily the best BFDI ending episode. Anyway, let's rank the episodes.
Yeah, so I have nothing else to talk about the episodes anymore, so I can now rank them. At top left is the episode number, at bottom left is the episode out of 10, at bottom right is the tier have the episode in, and at top right is the placement. This is an example shot, so let's begin with not ranked place, BFDIA 5B. I didn't even rank this, and now let's go on with the actual episodes. Number 28, BFDIA 10, Taste of Sweetness. Number 27, BFDIA 8, Measy. Number 26, BFDIA 11, Lots of Mud. Number 25, BFDIA 1, yeah, who I wanna know. Number 24, BFDIA 7, Intruder Alert. Number 23, BFDIA 19, Egg. Number 22, BFDIA 22, I'm the main character. Number 21, BFDIA 15, Sport A. Number 20, BFDIA 24, Say Hi Jack. Number 19, BFDIA 6, Well Vested. Number 18, BFDIA 17, Start the Shift. Number 17, BFDIA 21, We're Not Friends. Number 16, BFDIA 3, Insectophobia's Nightmare 3. Number 15, BFDIA 9, Catch These Hands. Number 14, BFDIA 25, She Deserves This. Number 13, BFDIA 12, Insectophobia's Nightmare 4. Number 12, BFDIA 20, The Launch Party. Number 11, BFDIA 16, Respect to the Wicked. Number 10, BFDIA 2, Get Digging. Number 9, BFDIA 18, Airplanes in the Night Sky. Number 8, BFDIA 4, Zeke Boogie Duke.
Editing me here, and literally I messed up the ranking, so number 7, BFDIA 13, well look who it is. Number 6, BFDIA 5C, No More Snow. Number 5, BFDIA 5D, It's a Monster.
Number 4, BFDIA 14, You're a Filthy Friend. I'm also using this title, by the way, because pointy is horrible. Number 3, BFDIA 23, Shattered. Number 2, BFDIA 5E, The Long Lost Jewel City. And finally, number 1, BFDIA 5A, Get in the Van. At first, the season started out as great, very good with episodes 2, 3, 4, and especially 5. Then when the show came back, it went kind of rough, with 8, 10, 11 being bad, and the rest just being a mixture until 12 happened. And the show has been very consistent ever since, and every episode after that has been good, except a few mediocre ones, and it hasn't been a miss. Honestly, the season is a 10 out of 10, and it's put it in the season ranking number 2, Battle for Dream Island, and number 1, BFDIA. So this is probably the end of the video. Next will probably be the BFB ranking, and it's probably going to be interesting. This is going to release like sometime in like January 2027, as I have a bunch of videos planned, especially episode 100. And for last, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you like this video. And make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more videos. And that's it.
I'm actually ignoring the secret message. Anyway, you lost the game.